Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. And, man, I'm so pumped about this segment and our guest for today. That is Dane Bradshaw, VFL, Memphis finest. I heard the broadcast, Dane, over there taking a shot at all the Memphis high schools, bragging about White Station. I heard you, Dane, throwing them shots, man, being proud. I like it, Dane. Good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, there was a player for Ole Miss that played at Whitehaven. So when they teed us up for what do I know about Whitehaven, which was not necessarily a rival, but somebody we played against at my school, White Station, I just had to put out there the only thing I knew was that they were winless against White Station back in 99 to 03, which I'm sure everybody was tuning in to get a little history lesson on 99 to 03 high school hoops.
I love it, man. I love it, man. One of our mottos this year here in the Swain Event, man, is just being petty, man. It's the year of petty. We're going to be petty. And I was very impressed by your pettiness there on that broadcast, man. I'm very proud of you.
You got it, man. We got bigger fish to fry today, though. It's game day, man. I'm pumped.
Are you pumped? You've played certainly at a high level, and there's good butterflies and there's bad butterflies. The bad butterflies are the ones where you're so nervous that you can't even move. You're so nervous to make a mistake you can't play within yourself. There's good butterflies that it's a little bit of nervousness, but at the tip, everything is normal and you're ready to go. Where are you as far as being pumped versus being nervous, man? Because I'm kind of nervous too, man. This team's kind of been up and down, but I like how we played the last couple games. Are you more nervous and confident, more confident than nervous, more pumped than nervous? How are you feeling right now, Dane?
You know what? I'm the glass half full guy all season long, but it's much more genuine right now. I'm not just saying it to try to make myself feel better. I'm more confident than nervous because, look, when Tennessee, I thought the best thing that happened to Tennessee was when they went to Auburn and they got crushed on the offensive glass and outplayed. And we've seen Tennessee play poorly this year at times, which has been frustrating. But I never really got the sense that they got out-toughed in any of those games. They just weren't playing well. That wasn't the case at Auburn. Auburn took it to them. But I think, again, it was the best thing that happened to them because they got the benefit of recovering from that game with a full week to prepare for Florida because they didn't have the midweek game, which was very rare due to the scheduling issues and things like that throughout the course of the season. So they got to have a few days. As you know, Swain, after you have a bad game, sometimes there's not enough time to focus on yourself. You have to get straight to the opponent. I thought Tennessee had a lot of time to focus on themselves, then prepare for Florida. Then you get the emotional senior night. People start feeling good again. A good performance in the SEC tournament where they hold their head high. And I thought all that was extremely beneficial to where for me, I was worried they were going to be slipping into that 8-9 seed. And the fact that they were just able to do enough down the stretch to hold on to this 5 seed, I thought was really important because I was talking to Steve Forbes, assistant coach, my former assistant coach, now head coach at Wake Forest. And I said, there's kind of 3 things out there that coaches kind of rank. The seeding, the matchup, and then what's your momentum coming into the NCAA tournament? I feel like Tennessee has all 3 of those things going right now. I like the seed they got. I like the matchup they got. I like the way they're playing heading in, and all those have different levels of importance. He made a good point though. He said, look, you got to have a good seed, good matchup, and then you got to have a little bit of luck. You got to have an upset here or there, And so I don't know where or if that'll happen on Tennessee's side of the bracket. But if you think about some of the big runs Tennessee has had, whether it's under Conzo Martin or Bruce Pearl, where they were able to beat a double-digit seed after they upset or those seeds had upset. Let's see, I think it was Ohio that Tennessee beat at one point to get to the Sweet 16. So those things can happen. You just got to make sure you take care of your business.
Dane, I'm supposed to ask you about Tennessee basketball, but I need help with my bracket, and I'm relying on you. I'm being selfish. I need help with my bracket. Am I crazy?
Be a millionaire or something? Is Dane a lifeline?
Yes, he is. Ask a friend. I'm phoning a friend. Am I crazy for having Florida State and Iowa match up in the Final Four for a chance to to get to the title game. I have Florida State beating Bama in the Elite Eight, and then I have Iowa upsetting Gonzaga. I'm in prove-it mode with Gonzaga. I always buy into Gonzaga, and they always let me down. So I felt like I would be ahead of the curve this year and pick where they're going to ruin everybody's bracket. So am I crazy for having Florida State and Iowa in the Final Four with a chance to play for the title?
I don't think you're crazy, and I think you've given me too much credibility because so many of my games each season on the broadcast side are all SEC networks. So the truth is I can tell you more about Vanderbilt's eighth man off the bench than I can Florida State starting five. So, your guess is as good as mine. But look, everybody knows Leonard Hamilton's one of the most underrated, underappreciated head coaches. Yet Florida State always seems to be in the mix. A ton of talent down there. And then Luka Garza for Iowa, of course. Even though I tend to favor guard play over bigs, I can make an exception for Garza because that guy does it all and it's just a matchup nightmare. And if they can play defense consistently, they got a shot.
Well, let me ask you in a similar way. What do you think about Alabama's run at a potential Final Four? LSU potentially having to play Michigan. What other SEC teams are you looking at to potentially make a run, or an SEC team that you don't think will last very long in the tournament?
I still have a ton of confidence in Alabama, which is easy to say, but they impressed me even more than I was expecting. I thought that they would maybe stumble in the SEC tournament just because of the fact that they played so many of those teams that already played Alabama, the familiarity, and trying to beat teams for a second, third time on the season as opposed to a 15-type seed like they have matched up with them, or a 10-7 game, whatever happens after the first round. Those teams have plenty of film on you, but it's another thing to study the film as opposed to getting out there on the court and seeing how well they spread the court, how well they attack the rim and do all those things. So the fact that they were able to just not stumble in the SEC tournament only increases my confidence in them. Nate Oates is the real deal, big-time coach, and I think I think they've got a legitimate shot at getting to the Final Four. LSU is the tricky one because NCAA wasn't going to do Will Wade or those guys any favors. I thought they got a raw deal on their seed. They're much better than an 8-9. I thought they were better than Florida, who got the 7th seed. And the benefit there is, hey, if you win your first round matchup, you obviously get the 2 seed the next game as opposed to the 1. However, LSU is so talented. They've got 3 stars and really a 4th in Darius Days. But one of the games I was calling during the SEC tournament, at one point I think they had there were 65 points and 4 guys had 63, and one guy off the bench had a lob dunk for the other 2 points. So they are very dependent on their stars, but their stars are reliable and good. So you think back to a few years ago, Wichita State got a 1 seed, and boy, they put Kentucky, the most talented, whatever it was, 8 or 9 seed, in that same side of the bracket, and Kentucky stole the 1 seed path from Wichita State. LSU's got that type of talent. They're not always together as a team, but man, I'm not necessarily picking them as an upset, but I'm going to be, if they can win this first round matchup, I'm going to be watching that one really closely, them against their 1 seed Michigan.
As a Tennessee football fan that's going through these upcoming NCAA sanctions, I've been totally salty towards LSU, Dane, and I wish LSU was a 16 seed, to be honest. Get Will Wade out of here. Get him out of here, man.
Yeah. I know that thing has been going on for a long time. I remember I had their game. This was like 3 years ago. It was their last regular season game, and they were about to be SEC champs, regular season champs. And that was when the FBI recording came out, and they suspended Will Wade for a game, and we're down there calling the game like, boy, guess we'll never see this coaching staff again. And here we are 3 years later, and I think it's probably only a matter of time before things do come down harder on them. But it's for now. And here's where I'll give LSU fans a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Bear with me here. People say they have their head stuck in the sand. I disagree. I think they know full and well that they've got problems within their program with violations, but they're just looking around the rest of the country and saying, well, wait, you want us to be the school that fires our coach? Everybody else is standing by their coach that was on there, on the tapes, and whether it's Kansas or whomever or Arizona. And so, we're going to stick by them too.
I mean, if you had integrity, LSU, like Tennessee, you would do it. If you had real integrity, but apparently you don't.
Let's just say winning helps. I would. I'll use the UConn example. Kevin Ollie. This was 4 or 5 years ago, but had he been winning, they would have said we're going to stand by our man. But since he was losing, it was let's try to figure out how we can fire him for a cause. I think the same thing would be happening at LSU or other places if their teams weren't winning.
That's true. Dane Bradshaw here from SEC Network. Dane, which SEC team you think is in danger of going home in round number 1?
Oh gosh.
Because I look at Arkansas. I'll help you out. Arkansas, Colgate. Florida, Virginia Tech.
The Virginia Tech Florida game that worries me. Mike Young he's an awesome coach. He was at Wofford for a long time. One of those guys that got his Power 5 job long overdue. Coach of the year in the ACC, I believe, at Virginia Tech. And I like this Florida team, but I don't love them. And I think Virginia Tech is one of the more underrated teams in there. And I haven't watched Colgate much, but I've seen a few analysts have Arkansas on upset alert as well. But if I had to pick one team, I'd say Florida's in the danger zone.
Dane, I was scrolling Twitter yesterday and I saw the lovely Chris Lofton corner 3 to beat Winthrop, and you were the one inbounding the pass to Chris. What do you remember about that moment? And I imagine that had to be one of your favorite moments of your Tennessee career.
Oh yeah, man, that's an unforgettable moment. We had the 2 seed playing the 15, and at that time, I don't know that if the 15 had ever beaten the 2. Maybe it had happened once or twice, but that was Winthrop, very well coached by Greg Marshall. So they were tough out. And what I remember is, I was dribbling the ball up, and I thought I was actually going to just dribble down and try to penetrate, make a play. And time was ticking, and it was kind of one of those things where you're like, all right, here we go. And then Bruce Pearl smartly called a timeout and get the ball out of my hand. And so we draw up a play, and it's a back screen lob. I think it was Lofton set the screen for Andre Patterson, who was actually open. If you watch it, Andre was open. It would have been a tough throw and catch at the rim, but the play worked. But in my mind, I was like, I know how much Chris Lofton is in the gym, and I trust Lofton more than any other option out here. So I'm passing on option A, and I'm going to wait for Chris to curl around here and hit him in a decent spot. And it's just an amazing shot. And if you watch the highlight, I was actually anticipating him airballing it, falling short, because I sprint towards the goal, and I'm watching that thing travel. And dang, if the ball didn't just keep going above the rim and fall right through. And then we all celebrated, ran on the court, but really there was still time left, so we're glad we just didn't get a technical foul to screw the whole thing up.
That's great, man. You pick between wide open layup or dunk, or Chris Lofton contested 3.
Like triple team, too.
Yeah, I'm going Chris Lofton contested 3.
There are some amazing photos of that shot where, I mean, his body is almost parallel with the floor. He's fading away so far and just still manages to get it off. Just remarkable.
Unbelievable.
Remarkable shot.
Unbelievable. Dane Bradshaw here. Dane, before we get you out of here, man, what does Tennessee have to do in the tournament to get as far as they possibly can? We've seen people say this team can be eliminated in the first round. They can make a run. Kenny Smith has Tennessee in the Final Four. We've heard Jay Billis say that Tennessee can go deep, but we've seen Tennessee up and down this season. This is where it matters most. It doesn't matter what happened in the regular season. We saw Conzo Martin's team, sputter, and people will be very disappointed, upset with the regular season. But when it came tournament time, Mercer beats Duke, and Tennessee was able to go beat Mercer and advance, and be one play away from beating Michigan and advancing past that round. So We know it's about just playing your best at the right time. What does Tennessee have to do that maybe they did not do in the regular season? What's something that they have to do that maybe they did do in the regular season and need to continue to do?
Well, I think it has to be that they've got a better chance at consistently being an elite defense than they do consistently being an elite offense. And the good news is if they can stay focused on that, guard the ball, have punch, block shots everywhere, and just be bulldogs on the ball the way Keon Johnson, Jaden Springer can do. And the good news, but when they're not getting stops consistent on the other end, and it's a lot of half-court offense, can't get it in transition, that's where things start to sputter a little bit. So to me, the biggest key is if they can just, really hang their hat on trying to be the best defensive team in the entire NCAA tournament, which I think they're capable of. If they can do that, then that's the key to them making a long run here.
I lied. I got one more question. Who is the guy you think for Tennessee that has to have a really good tournament?
Boy, they got so many they got to have everybody.
Yeah.
I know that's riding the fence, but I still go back to the freshmen. I think it's Jaden Springer, Keon Johnson, and we've seen Springer be the more consistent, but I'm looking for Keon Johnson to take that next step against some of the best talent out there. He's got to take care of the ball better, but I see Keon Johnson potentially leading this team in scoring during the NCAA tournament and really, just embracing this platform and opportunity to play against some of the best, which I'd be thrilled to see guys like that play against Cade Cunningham in the next round for Oklahoma State.
No, it's going to be a fun one. That'd be a great matchup for sure. Dane, thank you so much for your time, man. You're great, man. You're getting better each and every year. I think we need to see more of you on some of these national calls, man. Maybe outside the SEC, you do a great job inside of the SEC. But man, you're doing a great job and always represent Tennessee to the fullest. And I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
You're the man, Swain. Appreciate everything. Y'all take care.
Yes, sir.